You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, here we are in the exact same spot in May as we were in last year. I did a video around this time last year. One of the first videos I did involving this league that didn't involve Brittany Griner in prison was A'ja Wilson claiming that she was not marketable. She was being held down because of race endorsements. And the reason that Caitlin Clark was so popular was because she was white. That was in May of last year. Here we are in May of this year, and it's pretty clear the female athlete that just had a signature shoe released from Nike. By the way, supposedly that thing sold out nearly instantly. We've got the same athlete, what was supposed to be one of the faces of the league. And look, I don't want to act like A'ja Wilson's not a beast on a basketball court. She can play ball. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about that. But it's things like this that makes people not want to buy a lot of your products and not want to give you the kind of support you're probably looking for, because people are just tired of it. And this is another example of why there's only one team and one player in the league that draws all the ratings and the rest of the players don't. Because fans, regular sports fans, are very aware of the identity politics, the virtue signaling, and all the rest that has come out of the mouth of these players over the years. Regular sports fans are very aware of this being an activist basketball league. And there was never a reason to watch, because you don't want to support people that you hear this kind of crap from all the time. It's nauseating. The NBA's drop in ratings because of statements just like this as well. I mean, the NBA's having a little bit of a ratings rebound, and it's because Adam Silver actually did a we're not going to get into that anymore kind of declaration at the right before the beginning of last year. So here we are, A'ja Wilson doing it again. This is Outkick. WNBA star A'ja Wilson continues to make wild claims about race. The Las Vegas Aces star is a dominant force in the league, but she also invites a lot of controversy and criticism for stupid comments. Specifically, Wilson appeared to have an issue with the attention Caitlin Clark, the woman responsible for elevating the league, received after joining the Indiana Fever. She told the Associated Press following in 2024, when talking about race and marketability, quote, "I think it's a huge thing. I think a lot of people may say it's not about black and white, but to me, it is. It really is, because you can be top-notch at what you do as a black woman, but yet maybe that's something that people don't want to see. They don't want to see it as marketable. So it doesn't matter how hard I work. It doesn't matter what all we do as black women. We're still going to be swept underneath the rug. That boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it is." Well, we'll get to some numbers in a minute that's going to knock all kinds of holes into that argument. Well, anyone who was hoping Wilson would just focus on playing basketball is in for a big dose of disappointment. The New York Times recently released a lengthy profile of the Aces player, and again, she claims she's not as marketable as someone like Caitlin Clark because she's black. God. My God. Quote, "It's 100% about race." Wow, she got drugged last year over this. And now she's doubling down again. And it's one of those things where we can sit there and we can say all the time, but there's always going to be somebody that's like, well, no, you're just making it about race. Well, you are. So Wilson told the New York Times when talking about race and marketability, it's important to point out that Wilson has a deal with Nike. Her signature shoe sold out within minutes of hitting the market. You'd think she'd be happy with all of her success, especially because few WNBA players have big endorsement deals. But clearly, that's not enough. Michael Jordan is a billionaire in large part because of his relationship with Nike. LeBron James might be woke and insufferable, but he's also probably the most recognizable athlete in America. The list goes on. The idea that American consumers won't buy products tied to black athletes is so comically stupid, it's hard to believe it's a serious argument. Agreed. Who did this? Who? Yeah, my boy, David Hookstead over there. Okay, so we'll get to some reaction from that because people are like, come on, give me a break. But before we do, let me point out something. Las Vegas Aces, New York Liberty were involved in the semifinals last year. A lot of this is flat about likability and people wanting to support their teams, yada, yada, yada. The semifinals got 850,000 views. All right. It was not the last preseason game, but the one in Iowa against the Brazil national team. Caitlin Clark got 1.2 million views on that game, a preseason game. All right. So there's levels of marketability that's tied to likability. Guess who's likable? Shaquille O'Neal. Last time I checked, Shaquille is in fact black. I mean, Shaq is black. Papa John's, Icy Hot, Frosted Flakes. I mean, honestly, it's crazy. There's an estimated $60 million a year in endorsements. Michael Jordan, $4.15 billion in endorsements, $300 to $400 million a year. Still, LeBron James. In 2024-25, he earned an estimated $85 million in endorsements. Last I checked, LeBron, black. Last I checked, Michael Jordan, black. It's the most absurd thing ever. I keep telling people, not a lot's going to change going into this season. And you see why. Clay Travis. Every time the WNBA players get media attention, they are whining, spiteful, insulting to a limited number of fans and come across as thoroughly unlikable. There we go. Likability. I just said it. God almighty. It's crazy. White people will never buy the shoes of black athletes. I long for the day when that changes. I mean, that sarcasm is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Does the New York Times remember a certain Michael Jordan, whose Jumpman brand was arguably the biggest athletic brands in the world? I think it's the biggest, right? Yes, poor Michael Jordan could have made a lot of money. It's nuts. She might be right. By making statements like this about racism, she destroys her marketability and appeal. Her innate racism and demand for victimhood are the cause of her downfall. Absolutely. I mean, she's absolutely killing herself and her marketability with these comments. It makes her incredibly unlikable. And she's a great basketball player. Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, Shaq, Serena Williams. The list goes on and on. Does Shaq's endorsement of Papa John's and General Insurance count as marketable? Question mark. The WNBA lost $40 million last year. It's a charity case. I got to be honest. I'm just going to keep it real because of this kind of stuff and the Dejanay Carringtons of the world and blah, blah, blah. If Caitlin Clark gets hurt, this league's right back to 450,000 view ratings. Just that quick. I mean, the players do not understand there is a disconnect between this kind of rhetoric and this league losing money all these years. And it's also why Caitlin Clark gets so much hate, because they're watching a rise in popularity surrounding her, but they don't like the way she looks. Wow. Right back to it. 1 year later, still saying the same dumbass, stupid shit. It's unbelievable. It truly is. It's baffling to me. If you race doesn't play into this. Even sexual preference, I don't think plays into this. Likability absolutely plays into this. A'ja Wilson's largely unlikable. There, I said it. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.